Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the episode. We are in week 12 of our OKC Memorial Marathon training, and it is Sunday, the March 24th. And this morning I had a pretty big 20-mile workout, long run in OKC with the OKC Land Runners. And today we're going to talk about pretty much a week of running and lifting and how I kind of fit all that into my schedule. So, just a quick overview. We are pretty much one more week away from our peak training, and then next week we'll have a 22-mile workout run, and then we'll go down to a 20-mile run, and then we'll go down to probably a maybe 13, 14-mile run, and then we will have race day of 26.2 miles itself. So this week was pretty important going into this because I don't know if I've ever done a long run as far as a 20-mile long run and workout at all. So, I got my schedule here. So let's check it out. So on Monday we did a upper body strength training workout. I just did some chest, some biceps, some back, some shoulders. I was actually my day off as far as running goes because I had just done Saturday and Sunday 14 miles back to back, and I went into those doing those nice and easy runs, and so it really felt good. So I have Sunday off. So I have Monday off. So that took about 45 minutes, and then we went into Tuesday, which was my first track or speed session of the week, and this was a 1 mile warm up, 5 times 1 mile at 7:30-minute pace, and then a 1 mile cool down. And this was to equal a total of 8 miles. The first mile was kind of, always challenging. Those first mile, maybe 2 sets of whatever you do, 2 to 3 sets are always pretty tough. So I was a little intimidated. Knowing that I've done 15 miles at a 7:30 pace, I still felt like, oh boy, how's my body going to react? How's my leg going to handle this? We're on the streets and there's no one around. So our splits were 7:28, 7:28, 7:20, 7:24, and then 7:28. Overall, really good run. The third and fourth and fifth set really felt pretty fluid, and there was actually points where I was like having an issue slowing down, just because I felt like I was in such a groove. Overall pace was an 8:02. Average heart rate was a 151, and the total time was 56 minutes. So it ended up being a 8-mile workout. So I had my 1 mile warm up, and then I went into my 5 by 1, and then a mile cool down. So it ended up total of 8 miles. Later that afternoon, I actually ended up doing a strength training session for my lower body, and I'll let you check that out here right now. Okay, let's get this leg day underway. I like to go into squats starting off. I'll do 4 sets, progressive. So the first set will be 10 reps, and then I will do 2 sets of 8. And then I'll end up finishing with my 4 rep max. Then I will go into a hamstring variation of a kind of like a stiff leg, single leg with the B stance RDL. Just kind of focus on the hamstrings. And then I'll jump into a hip thrust, kind of work the glutes and also the hips as well. And then I'll finish it off with 3 sets of 20 on the calf raises. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And that's kind of how that Tuesday went. Wednesday, we went into, it was just a 9 easy miles. And it took over an hour and 19 minutes, average pace 8:53. So this one was actually a very nice run. Took the first half of the run, first 4.5 miles, somewhat easy. it was at a 902, 906, 903, 904. And that 4.5 mile, I turned around and ended up doing an 855, 852, 853, 842, and then 813. Average heart rate was 137, so that was pretty good overall run. So then that afternoon, I ended up doing just kind of a yoga session, kind of keep my body loose and kind of keep everything in a good flow, loosen up the muscles, let some more blood flow through. And Thursday, we had ourselves another workout, uh, another running, like kind of slight speed session, I guess you could call it. This was just a total of 5 miles, and it was a 1 mile warm up, 3 miles at 8-minute pace, and then a mile cool down. Lately, I've been having some really big trouble when it comes to starting my runs. On some of my runs, like these warm ups, I can start running at like, even 920, 930, 40 pace, whatever. And my head just gets so, like, my whole body feels like it's like the feeling of like super, like being in high altitude. When your body just gets like really like heavy, drowsy, and like you just feel like everything is so slouchy, and your body's working so hard just to even move. And it's like being, going from here to Denver all of a sudden and trying to run a marathon. Your body just feels like so out of it. And that's kind of how I feel. And I don't know. I mean, I warm up. I do my normal, go to the bathroom. I take some honey, maybe peanut butter. I get out and I do dynamic stretching and running around, pogo hops, all this and that. And my body just can't do it. So, and it usually lasts about 3 miles and then it just disappears. And then my body just like comes in. I can feel the weight, everything just like flushing through down, heavy legs, and then it goes away. And then I can just continue. So, and you'll see that right here where my first mile was a 10:31. Like that's how like dog dragging I was feeling. And then my second mile was 9:31. Now the heart rate was 121 and then 131. So I was pretty much, moving okay, but it's just like it's the blood or something, like everything just feels so thin when I start. I don't know what it is. So, I sucked it up and was like, let's go. And I turned over a 756, 749, and then a 746. And once that third mile started, everything flushes away. By the time the third mile comes in, it just like starts to go away. Once I started turning over, everything turned out really good. That day, my left my left lower leg below my knee started feeling a little tight and compressed. I was thinking maybe it's because of I did calves and I did legs yesterday, the day before that, but my right leg was completely fine. Like there's no pain. The mobility is stretching. Everything was good in it. But my left just feels like it tightens up, but it just like cannot release. I don't know. Maybe it's a nerve issue or what, but with the compartment syndrome that I had last year, I felt like I just mentally knew that familiar feeling. There was no pain when I was pounding or no straining, but I could just feel the tightness, extra tightness. So I have to like really like incorporate my heel whenever I strike. So I scheduled the next day on Friday to go see um, a Griffith chiropractor, who's kind of like a sports doctor, to do some dry needling. So Friday morning. I ended up doing a upper body workout, and I'll let you check that out here. So for this is just pretty simple. I'll do 4 sets of bench, starting with first set being 8 reps, and then the second I do 2 sets of 6, and then I do my 4 rep max. After I do this, I really like to do like a drop set. So I'll drop right back down to my first set and then try to rep that out for about 10 to 12 reps. And then I go into a superset, starting off with 3 sets of pull-ups, and then I'll switch and do alternating shoulder exercises, starting with like the front raise or the side lateral raise. a shoulder press with one knee down, just so that way it kind of incorporates my core and stability. Then I'll do another superset, a lower cable pull, kind of get the lower part of my lats, and then I'll go straight into 3 sets of 10 on the bicep machine curl. And then I'll kind of just finish off with the abs. I know they're super important. I don't get nothing crazy, but I just kind of do this variation to really open up and stretch abs and then really work on the contraction. And I kind of do this little med ball thing with the out and back, and then I'll do kind of like an around the world circular motion going to the left, and then I'll do a circular motion going to the right. Then I'll kind of just cap it off with side planks with like an oblique twist, and that is my workout. So yeah, as you can see, I just kind of want to try to keep it strong. Just kind of keep that overall strength going into this run. I worked half a day because my wife was sick, and she was also having to take care of our daughter, who her daycare lady is on vacation for spring break. So she worked half a day, and I said I'll work half a day, then I'll come home. So I worked till 12, and then I ran over to Griffith Chiropractor, got some dry needling done. I really like the dry needling. He did some fascia release. He did, kind of give some adjustments, and he's really cool. By doing that fascia, by doing the dry needling, those needles like really like trigger the nerves and help and just like instant release and allow relaxation throughout the muscle. So that way you can get blood flow circulating back through the leg. But with that dry needling, it really helps open up that fascia. It helps release the nerves, and it allows the fascia to kind of like, by doing the scraping and stuff, helps kind of stretch it out and allows the muscles to expand properly, therefore creating more blood flow and the healing and so on and so forth. So that helped out a lot. And then afterward, my muscles were just like super soft and jiggly, which, oh my God, is a wonderful feeling. I went to Saturday doing just an easy 4 miles. So I just ran to campus. It took about 35 minutes, about an 8:55 average pace. And the laps were just 9-minute, 8:51, 8:40, and 9:08. So I just kind of like took it nice, fairly easy. I was glad because I didn't have any leg pain. Was able to use the rest of the day to kind of heal off, and then had pasta that night. Got my stuff out, got all my gels. Was just able to kind of prep myself mentally for this, going into this run, kind of treating it like as if it was a real race. As I got up around 4:15, 4:20, and I went to the bathroom, got my stuff on, had 2 protein waffles with peanut butter and honey on top of it. Also had 64 ounces of liquid IV, and then I had a big scoop of Gatorade. My nutrition for the fueling for the run was I had Honey Stinger gels. So I had one for mile 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. And then I had one for 18, but I ended up using it at mile 16. I also had a banana that I took that I was going to take around mile 14. And then I also had a Honey Stinger waffle that I ate right before the run in itself. So how this run was going to go: 4 miles easy, 4 miles at sub 9-minute pace, so around 8:55. And we were going to go into 2 miles recovery, and then we were going to do 4 miles at 8:40 pace, and then we were going to go to 2-mile recovery, finish the 4 miles off at 8:30-ish pace. Oklahoma City is a very rolling up and down course, and we are gracious enough that we basically are running about 85% of this course. It started off really well. I started off with the first 4 miles at 9:42, 9:27, 9:46, and 9:21. When I started running, I kind of felt like this was going to be challenging. A lot of the stuff that I've done has led up to this run, and I haven't had anything of this magnitude. So I was really nervous, but I knew I had to like literally hone in, focus. I've been on some of the scores before, so I really needed to focus on some of these uphills and downhills. We had a pretty good strong tailwind while running north, but I also had to make sure that while going up and down some of these hills, that I was either taking advantage of the form and pulling my legs forward up the hills, and then also trying to be careful not to just like let the wind push me downhill and just completely jack my quads. So I wanted to really try to focus on a lot of that stuff. Our first set at sub 9-minute pace, which is going to be basically race pace. So I try to keep it around 8:55-ish, and we topped that off with 8:49, 8:52, 8:51, and an 8:53. So everything was right there under 8:55, which was really good. We went into our recovery with a 9:11 and a 9:03. I definitely tried not to stop for them. The only time I did was whenever I was trying to refill my water bottle. So I would unloosen it beforehand, try to fill it up, and then get going. And I really tried to take in as much liquid as I possibly could as far as hydrating. That way I could do the best I can to ensure myself that I was not going to either cramp up sooner, because I know these hills will make you do that really fast if you're not careful. Then we went into our next run, which was going to be a sub 8:40. We went into 8:41, 8:39, 8:35, and 8:34. So we had a recovery run of 9:22 and 9:19. So I slowed down a little bit, but mainly because we started running south. That wind really was pushing. Like, it felt like I was having to push harder against the resisting wind. And it was actually like, it was like speeding up the process of me cramping, because I felt a couple of cramps. It just felt so personal. And that was right when it came down to the final like 4 miles. So I ended up doing 8:36, which I was trying to get sub 8:30, but I could not for the life of me, because that wind was just like pushing so hard. 9:07, I had to stop. That wind, like, I was feeling the cramps, like and then I was like mentally like getting frustrated. So I stopped for a second, and at the same time I needed to know where to go. Luckily there were still 2 people close to me, and I can find out which street we had to go on. At that point, it was just frustration run, anger run. I busted out the next couple miles at 8:19 and 8 minute. Once I hit mile 19 and mile 20, you turn sideways and the wind is gone. I was cruising. I was good. We finished overall pace was an 8:58. Our total time was a 2 hour and 59 minutes. So taking that in consideration of, hey, if we had to do 10 more K, there's a small chance that, yeah, sub 4 could be possible. So it's just all going to depend on that extra 10K of what those hills look like. So I'm trying to heal up as fast and as best as I can, because we have 22 miles coming up this week, and this is going to be peak week, and this is going to be pretty much a peak, a long run workout. And then after that, we'll have another 20 miles and then basically just start tapering from there. That's how it is. I'm nervous. I've put in the work multiple times and come up short. And I hate having that mentality of like, we can do this, and going into race day thinking we can do this and then just coming up short. The last 3 marathons have gone downhill quickly. So everything is going good. I do appreciate the land runners for everything that they've done in helping me. They have such confidence in me, and they give me such positive feedback. And I haven't had that, from other than my wife. But so thank you guys out there. So thank you guys for watching. If you guys have stayed and watched, thank you for making this far. You guys can check me out on Strava at Charles Mantigi. You guys can also subscribe to my YouTube, as I do mainly the videos for my running on my YouTube. I also do some funny videos, so check out my shorts. And then also, you guys can also follow me on TikTok. With that being said, thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching this, and hope you guys have a good weekend.